market conditions, so majority bearish on S&P 500. On the daily time frame, we're seeing a little bit of a bounce right here in this demand block for majority bearish on the 1 hour time frame as well, pushed us back to 56.11. We've got a bearish pivot at the 236 at 56.44. Still pretty solid bearish, but I could start to see some demand coming right here into the market after a pretty big down day, or at least a gap lower, and rallied back towards the upper end of that range. We did see breadth push back higher just a little bit, 38. We've been pretty tight inside of that 38 to 40 range, 30 to 40 range now for a month or so, and we've seen that trend compress, expand. We're majority bearish and working its way back up a little bit. We're not extreme. That extreme can go down to 10 and then all the way up to 80. It's kind of cut off right there, but we're just kind of hovering right in that range. VIX, we're seeing push back higher. We've got majority bullish on the 1 hour and daily for VIX. So we've got elevated volatility right here, particularly in the last 3 or 4 sessions, as we have really continued this overall acceleration to the downside. SHY, short end of the yield curve, bonds moving higher. We're seeing majority bullish there, both on SHY in the last few sessions as well as TLT in yesterday's session, pushing back to majority bullish on both the daily and the time frame, which we should see corresponding bearishness for rates, which in this case we do for for the 2-year Treasury. We're seeing rates drop 3.85 now and sitting right on that support range. We could see a break of that and push rates even lower. The 10-year also following majority bearish and running into the 382 area and rejecting there, continuing that overall downtrend. What I'm talking about is this location here, counter trending up, 382. These levels now, when our trend direction is this direction, become areas of supply or areas of resistance, and this is now pushing back down, working the same for rates right here as well. Dow Jones Industrial Average working right around that demand location, majority bearish still, everything's still counter trending, but we're kind of extreme to the downside at the bottom end of that trend and seeing some support starting to come back in, but lots of work to do across the board. Dow Jones Industrial as well. The NASDAQ 100, these are your 100 top tech names for the most part. You've got majority bearish to the downside. And let's see where our real next demand location is going to start to be. We're getting pretty close to that right here, going to be really in that 467, 468, everything down in here. So we could see some acceleration and some bouncing, but again, this is the shorter term trend. If I were to push that back out here just a little bit and grabbing that current trend, this is really the current structure that we're focused on and watching to see where we go from here. Bearish momentum, again, below the 236 because that Fibonacci snap tool is flipped because the price high, the most recent high, is in the past and the most recent low is here, versus a bullish trend. When we have the most recent low down here, that fib tool is going to snap to that low and show us the price trend activity there. Then we have our market structure. We've broken now down below that 618. So seeing just additional confirmation, 2 more downside or trending to the downside. IWM also majority bearish on the 1 hour and the 1 day and inside of a demand block right here, but that is also starting to look weak. We're continuing to look weak. We're at the bottom end of that range for Russell 2000. USO, on the other hand, we're seeing strength in oil starting to materialize now as it's working its way back up into that trend. You've got majority bullish. You've got majority bullish on the 1 hour for oil, and gold also continuing to move higher, really in lockstep. It's been fairly systematic in this overall uptrend. And again, this becomes your structure of you've got this most recent high, you've got 236. This becomes the momentum zone. Inside of this range is kind of the playground of volatility for it to still continue that overall uptrend. But it's at the absolute high of that uptrend, and you've got quite a bit of expansion in trend on gold here in the long term and the short term as it's making all-time highs. Silver, similar type price pattern. If we jump over and take a look at a couple of names, again, if you want the access to the screen criteria that we're utilizing, you can get that in our Discord server, which is a link in the description of this video. And I would love to have you. We've got tobacco, we've got broadcasting right here. You got big name pharmaceuticals like Johnson & Johnson also moving higher back into the momentum zone. here. That fib snap tool is snapping this low, this high again. That's Johnson & Johnson. You've also got Coca-Cola, which is moving higher. Got a trade locked and loaded for Coca-Cola. You've got Fox Broadcasting here as well for moving back into momentum. So some interesting names, the names that you would expect, and that is, stocks like tobacco, Altria moving higher. You've got broadcasting, which is network. Everyone's sitting around watching TV right now, and you've got Coca-Cola sitting around just having a smoke, watching TV, and having a Coke as well. That's kind of what the market is showing us right now. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.